a scene where Vin Diesel's watching TV, and it's like Carol's flower, now non-flammable. And it shows kids going, yay! So I think that's what it is.
I mean, it exists, I think, for a couple reasons, because it gives the opportunity to cover Vin Diesel in a white substance, so he's more reminiscent of the character from the comic book.
Yeah.
Right. It's also visually unique because, you know, they're on a limited budget, and this lets you create something that's strange and no one's ever seen before, or probably even never thought of before. And I appreciate that. And
it's like with Mandy, they didn't have enough. So that podcast, which will come out soon, they didn't have enough money for rain. So they did that.
Yeah. And I guess what's interesting about this, if you have to think about it a little bit more, is the slow-mo. So we've seen the slow-mo done a lot, and there is a good amount in this film. But I think it's done on purpose because it highlights that Bloodshot isn't the type of character who's fast. He's not going to come running up to you and hit you. He is unstoppable. So he's just going to keep coming.
He's a tank.
And he is literally a tank. Like he's meant to take damage. A meat shield, I guess. And I think doing everything really quickly and like him doing flips, it's not in the vein of the character. The character is more or less like Jason Voorhees. Like he's coming towards you, he's stalking you. You're going to try to get away, and it's not going to work because he can just soak up damage until he gets close enough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you look at him in the comics, he was mostly just guns, right? Just big old guns. That's really smart, though. The flower, though, that's smart. Brings back the kind of white, because the character is covered is basically all white, right? Kind of like the Joker almost color. Yeah. Oh man, what are your three favorite bits from this flower fight?
The flower fight. Okay, so my number one bit is when he picks the guy up and holds him to the window.
Yeah.
And explodes it. My number two bit is when he writes the smiley face on the window. That's about the same scene, but it counts. And what I think's a really interesting part is when he gets kicked into the flower truck, and then everyone shoots into it. And it's not super innovative, but it shows that the director is thinking about how to save money.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, we'll just have them fire into this truck. Yeah. And it works in terms of the story as well. It's like, oh, you can't see if you've heard him or not. So then when he pops back up, it's scary.
So I loved when a merc slides and shoots his feet out.
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
So that merc is smart. And so then Vin Diesel reacts by just kicking the car into the guy. And it's a well thought out scene. And there's another scene where he pulls a door from a car and uses it as a hockey stick to hit a mercenary into two other mercenaries, which I absolutely loved. And then when his face gets shot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a unique scene, and I think it's getting unfairly maligned for being repetitive, but I don't see it that way. I think it stands on its own. So it's interesting.
And I loved it when Wiggins is like, he's punching holes through those people.
Oh, he's Trojan horsing it.
Yeah, that made me so happy when he was just like, because Bloodshot is punching holes through people.
Could you imagine this movie with an R rating?
I would love it with an R. Well, you know what, though? Watching this movie, I never thought I need more blood. Did you?
No, I didn't even know it was PG-13 until after I looked at it.
Yeah, I thought it was R. So I think it's a case of not needing that. This movie is violent enough. And when he's killing these mercs, the nice thing about having these mercs all loaded with gear is he is squishing them with cars. You don't have to see them. He's throwing them on their neck so their necks snap. There's a scene that's really cool where they show a car and you see bullets going off and people screaming. Like they really did a good job of not needing the R rating, but still showing enough violence in the film. No, I dug it. Hey, can we do something real quick?
Sure.
I want to do a Vin Diesel movie draft, right?
Oh, nice.
But we can't pick any Fast movies or Iron Giant.
Yeah. But we can do Groot.
Yes, we can do Groot. We can do Groot. But I'm not going to do Groot. You going to do Groot?
I don't think so. I get that everyone loves that character, but it's not a Vin Diesel character.
All right.
You know what I mean? It's so strange.
Yeah, it's just I am Groot, I guess. It's a James Gunn character, I guess.
Yes.
All right. So pick a number two. Pick a number 1 or 2.
2.
All right. Yeah. You know what's funny? I do 2 every single time on every podcast, and I'm just waiting for the person to say 1 because they psych themselves out. When I play paper rock, I don't know if you know, when I play paper rock scissors, I always just do rock. And if you just do paper, you'll beat me every time. But I love it when someone's like, I think he's gonna switch, and they do scissors, and I win.
Not one out of 10 times you're like, I'm the best.
But I like getting into people's heads. Does that make sense? Like he's gonna switch it. All right, so you get first pick.
Okay, this is an easy pick for me. I'm going to pick Pitch Black.
Ooh.
I'm picking this movie first because I absolutely love it. I think it's probably his best film. Mm-hmm. If not his best film, in the top 3. And when I first saw this film, I knew nothing about it. And I had a friend who invited me over to her house and some other people to watch it. And I immediately became obsessed with it. It is such an insane movie. And I really can't recommend it highly. I can't recommend it more. Like, just go out and see it. Just go see this movie, guys. If you haven't, you're not a Vin fan if you haven't seen Pitch Black.
I like Roger Mitchell in it, Keith David, Cole Hauser. I dig it. It's a fun movie.
Yeah. Now, what's crazy about it, he's not even the main character. He's like third bill.
I'm going to go with Saving Private Ryan.
Okay. That's good. Do you want to tell the story about Saving Private Ryan? Like how he got into that movie?
No, how'd he get into it?
So, from what I understand, Steven Spielberg saw Vin Diesel's short film and liked it so much that he wrote a role into Saving Private Ryan specifically for him.
Oh, man. And he's good in it, too. When he's shot, just laying in the street, and he's like, take the letter. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And that's
I feel like...
Oh, gosh, that movie gets me every time. Giovanni Ribisi. Oh, Barry Pepper.
Yeah, that movie's real good. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit difficult for me, but I'm going to go with XXX, The Return of Xander Cage.
Yes.
And here's why. So I think the third in this series, The Return of Xander Cage, is more tongue-in-cheek than the other 2 movies. And that makes it funnier.
Bikes turn into jet ski bikes.
Jet ski bikes. Like, he understands what people want in this film, which is him doing ridiculous things. And he leans into it really, really hard.
He skis down a mountain. There's no snow.
Yeah, I was so excited when I found out they were doing another one of these movies, and I hope they're doing I guess this would be a 4th one.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope they bring back the cast. I hope there's more Michael Bisping and Tony Jaa.
Well, you were saying earlier that he gives shots to a lot of different people, and he puts together international casts. And The Return of Xander Cage is an example of an international cast.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it felt like he learned a lot from the Fast and Furious franchise and then translated that over into The Return of Xander Cage and then again into Bloodshot.
My number 2, Boiler Room.
Yes. Okay. I've never seen Boiler Room.
Oh, great cast, like loaded. It's him and Giovanni Ribisi back together. It's more of it's kind of like a Wall Street-esque type film, but a bunch of young, cool actors just in suits dealing with business and like other things that come with it. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's worth watching. It's a good performance from Vin Diesel. He's a different guy. He wears suits in it, if you can believe that. Ben Affleck's in it, like Nicky Cat, Nia Long. Scott Caan's in it. Scott Caan has a role. It's just them walking around in suits being cool.
That's so different from all his other roles, which is him walking around in tank tops being cool.
Yeah, no, and Jamie Kennedy's good in it. Jamie Kennedy's in a suit being cool.
Wow, that's not true. When is Jamie Kennedy cool?
What? Dude, he's great in Scream. He's awesome in Bowfinger.
He's terrible in The Son of Mask.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. My third pick is one I think that people are going to be shocked that I'm going to pick, and that is Babylon AD. This film is maligned. I actually think it's pretty rad, and I bought it for like $3 when it was on sale about a year ago. I dig it. I think people should watch it.
I remember the production design looks really good. It's just a different film than people were expecting from Vin, I would say.
Yeah. They were expecting something less melancholy.
All right, my third pick's Knockaround Guys, and it gets that because of Vin's speech about beating up 500 people in fistfights on the streets, and then he beats up a bunch of people in a bar. And it's good. I mean, this movie has like John Malkovich, Barry Pepper, him. It's quite dark, Dennis Hopper. But yeah, it's worth watching, and it's just a great speech from Vin Diesel. So I recommend it for that.
Okay. My fourth one, I'm going to go with The Last Witch Hunter.
Yes.
So here's a great story about that. This character, Calder, is based off Vin's real life D&D character. Basically, him and his friends were just like, this is a good character. You've been playing this for like 20 years. Let's turn it into a movie. And I also love that Xander Cage, his other character, has a tattoo of Vin Diesel's real D&D character on his stomach. It's so ridiculous. So many layers.
He's such a nerd, and I love it. I'm just such a big fan of that. Just go for it, man. Oh, it's perfect. So my fourth one's Riddick. I know It's not the Chronicles of Riddick, but I don't know. I like the cast. I like the first 1/3 of it. I don't know about the last 2/3, but I like him. There's the first third of the movie's him just fighting one monster, like he's trying to get around it. And that's, if I could watch that 3 times, I'd be really happy. But yeah, that's my next one is Riddick.
Are you excited for the next Riddick movie?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he apparently finds his planet.
Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked. It's been too long. So the last one came out 2013. So we're due for some Riddick action.
Yes,
totally
please.
Underrated. My final pick is also going to be Riddick, but it's the Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh.
This movie, I remember when it came out, people were like, this movie is trying to be huge, trying to set up a world, and try to do all these things, and it fails. It didn't fail to me. I really dig it. I really dig how weird it is.
I mean, you have Tandy Newton running around. You got Carl Urban running around. Judi Dench, him. A bunch of weird stormtrooper guards. It's just a dorky, great film.
I mean, it's goth Star Trek.
Yes. And it just proves how dorky he is, and it's great.
He's such a nerd. He's like fantasy and sci-fi, and Riddick binds all those things into one. It's like trying to be Star Wars or Jupiter Ascending, where there's a mix of magic and science.
All right, and my last one, I'm cheating here, and hopefully you don't get angry, but I'm gonna say Bloodshot.
Okay, do you think Bloodshot's in his it is one of his top 10 roles?
No.
It's hard to say.
Okay, because he's emotional in this movie. He does show moments, but I think he's learned to hire people around him. I think his best roles are still in. Oh, I never picked Triple X1.
No, we didn't. We skipped right over it.
Oh crap. Whatever. But I think his best roles are in Pitch Black, The Fast and the Furious, Knock Around Guys, Boiler Room, those movies where Saving Private Ryan, Find Me Guilty. Even A Man Apart, just different roles for him where he shows more vulnerability, I guess. Yeah. But I would say what are his top 3 roles?
Okay, that's really good. Again, I think it's
Pitch Black.
I think Pitch Black is number 1 by far. I think he does a really good job in the original Fast and Furious, and probably Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I would give him those. That sounds about right. Just simply because they're 3 different characters. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Because Fast and the Furious Triple X isn't a performance, a role.
No. What's a moment in Bloodshot that we didn't talk about that shows him being vulnerable, that shows that Vin Diesel does have the capability of being a good actor when he wants and when he's not leading into his brand, is when he is talking to his wife and he finds out that one, it's not his wife, it was his ex-girlfriend and they haven't seen each other in 5 years. He puts this look on his face and he tilts his head and he says, 5 years?
Yeah.
And it's the most emotional, resonant moment of the film. You feel that Garrison has just broken in that moment. You don't see a lot of that from him. And sometimes I wish I would see him step into these other roles. It just feels like maybe he's typecast, or maybe he's even typecast himself into this mad dog 90s to early 2000s type of character.
Even in Fast and Furious, he showed emotion, right? When he's you betrayed me. He's so you know what? That's a really good scene. And I also like that his wife didn't just leave her family for him. She's I have kids. Good. She's go back to your dad. You were a terrible husband. I wanted you to be around more, and you never were. And then you disappeared. I got my life now. Get away from me. I kind of dug that. That's a different plot line than we're used to, I would say.
So you know what I'm excited for? So I know that we are not going to get Fast and Furious 9 this year. It's been moved back to next year. That's sad. But if you think about Fast and Furious in terms of story arc, in the next film, most likely the fast guys lose.
Yep.
Because you have to have them reach bottom before they can achieve success. And that gives us the opportunity of seeing Vin really act. Vin as Dom, showing true emotion. He did that in the last one in 8, but I would like to see like him really do it in the next one.